So welcome everybody to 621-617 Spring 2020. I think it amazes me that that's where we are, but that's where we are. So thank you for joining us, and hello Carrie, I see you joining us. I am recording this, so really what I do, this is as much of a version of my digital electronic office hours as it is anything. Carrie, I see you have your bodyguard there beside you. How I handle this, I've seen many of you in Zooms before, one way or another, and I know that this part's not particularly new. I don't intend to do any lessons or instruction. I'm going to talk about the course. I'm going to share screen so you see my course site. Talk about my mental image of what I'm going to ask you all to do. I will ask you that if you're not actively wanting to speak, in the lower left-hand corner, go ahead and mute your computer, because it is sound sensitive, and it will pick up on whatever. So anyway, I think so far all of you. Hello, Trevor. I see you joining us. Okay, I see you there, Trevor. Okay.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. Don't forget to mute your computer.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So I've gone through and looked at your introduction videos, and I on something like that, I don't have any massive words of wisdom in my comments. Sometimes I just say, I'm really glad you're joining the class. Sometimes if you have specific questions in there, things that we need to deal with. And so I think everybody that's here has accessed the course site just fine. And it's pretty straightforward. I will hit share so I can show my, not my email, this one right here. There we go. So you should see the course site. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you see the course site for 621-617, my site. Very good, okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit and give you a chance to ask questions, and we will only be here as long as we need to be. That's how I look at this thing. And I know that we've scheduled dates for other Zoom webinars like this. As I was saying before some of you joined, I essentially treat this as an electronic office hours. So a way for make myself available if you have questions and that kind of stuff. And a lot of times with a course, I don't know if my directions are bad in some place, or there's a dead link or something like that, until other people see it. I think there are like 19 people in this class. Almost everybody's in the same boat. Alt Cert or Postbac. So you are all relatively new to teaching in Missouri. Several of you have experience teaching other places and other countries and that kind of stuff. But as far as working towards Missouri certification, all of you are roughly in the same boat. First year, maybe second year, maybe third, but it just kind of depends on where you are in your life. This is the second year. This course is only in the spring. It used to be only alternative certification people could take this course. It's a little bit broader than that now. The people that are in the post-bac programs, and once in a while people that are working on a master's in teaching, can be in here too. So last spring I completely turned this course on its head, in that I based the whole course on the handbook of the New Art and Science of Teaching. And I try real hard. This class is essentially a practicum class, okay, where I facilitate and we talk through threads, but as far as me teaching from the book, the handbook of the new art and science of teaching, that's not my approach. This book is a Marzano book, and it's really very new. I think it's a 2018 book, and so what we will do, I'll just talk through this, and I'll be quiet and give everybody a chance to ask questions, and then again, this is being recorded, and I put the recording back up in the course site for those of your classmates that cannot join us, which is really a bigger part of this, of why we're doing this. You all are my, like I said, my guinea pigs. So when you look at the course site, there using the Marzano workbook as the frame for it. There's an area in it called context, area in it called feedback, and area in it called content. And so my mental image of what I'm going to ask you to do, and if you've been looking at the course site, you have an idea that every week or so, I'm going to ask you to look at one of the chapters from the workbook. And the chapter is broken down by elements or strategies or things to try. Okay? So essentially, and these are things you need to be doing anyway. I'm not asking you to do anything that I'm just asking you to weave this into your teaching life anyway. Michaela, I know we need to talk a little bit about, or rephrase that. Some of your classmates are not traditionally in a classroom like everybody else. So we'll have to talk our way through that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to go like, so this first assignment is due, well, it doesn't matter. That's the first one though. And engagement strategies. Those of you that have talked to me before know I talk a lot about student engagement. And go into the workbook and pick one of these and learn more about it. And say, I'm going to try that in my classroom tomorrow. Okay, pretty straightforward. So I am helping you try new things, new strategies you can put in your back pocket, and things that you can do. Kenlyn, you have a question?
Yes. Sorry, I actually am an implementer at a facility that helps kids with autism, and
Yes.
we implement a lot of strategies that I see here. So do you think that would work?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This just has to fit into your daily life.
Yes.
I'm not asking you to go to any other building. I'm asking you to review all the elements in chapter. So I would say just a blush through them. Select one that speaks to you. Say, hey, I want to try that. I can use that strategy where you can say, well, I want to try using academic games. I did a lot of that when I was teaching. It was a good way to teach content. Middle school kids love using academic games. And so I would read up on, from the workbook, more about academic games. All right, I'd select that element. I would practice that element with with my students. Okay, then you ask you to reflect on that what you selected, why you selected it, and how it went through the thread of discussion. And then share what you've learned, what you do differently next time, and do all that about 150 words. I'm not asking for a dissertation because you're going to do this every week. Okay, pretty straightforward. No, it's very straightforward. It's very chronological. Bluntly, it's not that hard. hopefully I'm going to march you through Marzano strategies. And I tend to tell people there are some researchers that when you say, well, I pulled this from a Marzano reference, they're going to nod their head and go, oh, good. Marzano, Hattie, Lemov, Marshall. There are some researchers that are just the go-to people. That your principals will, if you say that you're working out of a Marzano workbook, they're going to nod your head. They all will nod their head and say, good. Okay. He's not perfect. None of it's perfect, but it's hopefully helping you try new strategies in the classroom to help you improve your art. Okay. So that is essentially, first of all, what you're going to do essentially on a weekly basis. Now we're going to get into spring breaks and that kind of stuff. And if you have, if you get sick or your spouse is having a baby, or you got weird stuff going on, just talk to me. I'm very aware of that. And those of you that had me in class know if you're talking to me, we'll be just fine. Okay. Now, I don't intend, if you're not talking to me and you don't do what I ask you to do, I'm probably not going to take late work. Okay. When you had me in 621-614, I was way too nice. Okay. And so we're a little further down the game. So I'm going to tighten that up a little bit. Okay. Again, but if you have something going on, or you've got, the wheels come off of your classroom, and that week doesn't work for doing something, just let me know. It happens. So now the thread that was due the other day, just the recent thread, the introduction thread, the big piece that I'm changing in this course, and I'm doing it in another course also, is the concept of using video in the classroom. Okay. And so this is something that is newer for me. I have used some video live Zoom web conference to watch people teach. I've also been in your classroom, some people's classrooms also, but that was where they would just turn on Zoom and turn the laptop around to face their kids, and I'd be watching also. Well, what you're going to be asked to do 3 times is, if you look at the bottom of module 2, the module video of your teaching. Okay, I'm going to ask you to create a 5 to 10 minute video of you zeroing in on one of these elements, strategies, techniques. Again, if you've implemented something new, a new academic game, then 5 to 10 minutes of your students doing it. In the perfect world, the camera is on the kids. Now, almost everybody has said, your principals say, as long as you have a signed release, you're fine. Any parents that don't have a signed release, you just ensure that during that time, that student is sitting off to the side and is not seen and not heard. Okay. I didn't, as I looked at your videos, none of you said that your administrators have a big problem with it. They just want us to follow policies for privacy, and that makes sense. So now you can make a longer video than that. I picked 5 to 10 because it helps you zero in on what you're doing. Longer videos get kind of harder to work with. What I tend to do and how I will do this video tonight, I dump it into YouTube and they put the link back in. So the actual video is stored in the cloud someplace. And I don't know. It fights me sometimes when I do it. There's VidGrid in here, and I do that sometimes too. And that kind of fights me. Zoom records to a MP4 or something like that, and it's supposed to be able to just put it back in. It never works right for me. It fights me every time. So I just put it into YouTube, and so YouTube, in my opinion, is getting better as letting you have longer videos. But I think that 5 to 10 minutes allows you to pick and choose. Okay, and so so again, it's important that the camera is just not on you. It's the same concept. If I was visiting your classroom as your principal, I would sit facing the students, not facing you. Okay? Because I am not interested in what's coming out of your mouth. We all know teachers that yak, 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 and kids don't pay attention. The teacher thinks they're teaching, but nobody's learning. So I learned when I was a principal, in fact, in some of my earlier writings said, put earplugs in your ears and face the kids and write down what the kids are saying and the kids are doing. Since then, I've seen some other writers like Marshall or Marzano talking about the same thing. And I think, man, I wrote about that 5 years before Marzano did. I should have published it. Oh, well. So this is something that's new because I'm asking you put that link back up in the thread of discussion. So we are all going to watch everybody teach. I told somebody this morning, yesterday morning, that teachers work in a fishbowl. And that's really true. Okay? People are coming and going all the time. We're always on stage. This is something new. I've never done this before. Because I'm asking you to provide feedback on at least 2 of the videos. Constructive feedback, critical friend, whatever you want to call it. Okay? I think this is powerful. And I think it's going to be good. But I've never quite done it this way before, which is very typical for how I do classes. None of my colleagues in Brown Hall up on campus are trying this. So if we fail, it's on me. So that's essential. Now there might be some other assignments that I'll go to modules here. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here.
I have a question about that.
Go ahead, Nina.
My principal told me that as long as the video was facing me and not focusing on the kids, it was okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, I would hope that you can revisit that conversation with your principal. Now, but hear me. You will do how the principal wants it done. Okay. And it is true. The absolute safest thing to do is to point the camera at the teacher. And if that's how it has to be in your building, then that's how it has to be. I'll be happy with however it gets it. If you can have another conversation and say, does the policy let me show the kids if I have the parental permission slip? Just ask the question, okay? And if your principal says no, then fine, back off, and I'm good with that too, okay?
okay, I have another question for you. You said that you wanted us to choose one of the strategies and then apply it in our classroom and then tell you how it went. But for example, this week we haven't had classes all day. We haven't had classes at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's another example. I am aware how January is in Missouri. Okay. And so if you have snow days and problems like it, just email me, and you'll just turn it in when you get it done. Okay. And so I am very aware of that, and it's not a problem at all. Okay. I intend to be very, very, very flexible through this process. And tomorrow's going to be another bad day weather-wise. I'm aware of that. I live here in Liberty, and it's a bigger town, and they were in session today because they don't have a lot of rural roads. The smaller towns north of us that have a lot of country roads, which are just still sheets of ice. And so they're not in session. Lots of schools in further north. Well, Milan may be an example of the country roads are a mess. And so just talk to me. And you'll do it when you do it. So again, gently have another conversation with your principal and see where that goes. And it's all good. So if you notice, essentially there's something every week. Try a technique every week. Okay? And it's not rocket science. I want you to read something new, try something new, stretch yourself a little bit. Okay? Your kids will appreciate that. Okay? I tell people that students like routine and structure and predictability. They also like a little bit of variance in there. They like something new every now and then within that structure, within the safety that you've created. Okay? You all know that. You've seen that already. The other modules are not open, and that's by design. I have the topic of the whole module is published, but the rest of it's not. And I will do that. It's just a matter of I wanted to work our way through this before I open up the rest of the modules. Down here, I have, we'll spend a little bit of time also talking about the Missouri Educator Evaluation System, the MEES, which part of that is similar to the NEE or the Mizzou model for teacher evaluation. In your last semester in Alt Cert now, there's a thing called the MEES assessment, which is really designed for student teachers, but where your principal and I collaborate on your strength on each of these standards. And we give that to DESE. You don't have to do much. A teacher doesn't have to do much at the moment. But I want to air that out with you all as you're moving forward. It is a concept for your last semester. It is a concept before you apply for full certification. It's considered a DESE assessment. Okay? Let's see. Carrie, have you ever heard of that? You've heard of that? Okay, good. Trevor, have you heard of that? Okay, good. All right, so I've been talking for 24 minutes, which is plenty long for me. I will pause there and see what questions anybody has.
Could you hear me?
Yes?
Hi, how are you doing?
Is that Greta?
Yes.
Okay, how can I help you, Greta?
Okay, do you know what my situation are? I'm not currently teaching right now. I know if you are on track about, I sent you an email telling you that I'm subbing.
Yes.
I got a lot of couple interviews this month. Hopefully,
Okay.
for next school year.
Okay.
So let's see. They're gonna tell me this next month, but not right now. I'm just subbing.
Yes.
I'm subbing for long term in Foreign Language Academy. So I spoke with the principal, and he was agreed with.
Oh, good.
Because I'm working with kindergarten.
Good.
But let me record one class but I don't know about the rest of the, of
Okay.
the assignments, because I don't know if I'm gonna be there or another place. I don't.
We will work our way through that. There's a lot of W's in there. And I'm glad to hear you say that you're a long-term sub, which gives you access to kids that know you.
They know
And-
me.
yeah.
I have been subbing over there for 2 months, so they really know me now.
Good. So just work your way through it and keep talking to me. And if you're able to do 3 videos, that's great. If not, we'll work out something else. Okay?
Because I will be there until the end of February, but I don't know next.
Well, perhaps, and I guess everybody could hear this too, because it's a good grad student will figure this out quick, that the videos are not date stamped. Nothing's going to keep anybody from making all 3 videos in the same day. You just put on a different jacket and you drive on with each one. You know what I mean? That's
Yes.
what grad students do. I know that. Okay. Oh, so Robert, you just turned your shirt inside out. And act like it's a whole different group. And it doesn't really matter to me that much. So Greta, what I'm saying is if you realize you need to make 3 videos in 1 week, we can make that work too.
Okay, but I just would love to know what's gonna be the next assignment.
Yes.
And what kind of video do I have to do?
Okay. I will work on the rest of the modules. I will help you with that, and we'll work our way through it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Any other questions? Well, I guess what the concept there is that that's where I started off. Not everybody is a traditional teacher of record in their own classroom right now. And so I knew going into this, I was going to have to be creative and flexible. That's fine. Okay. Other questions?
So I'm gonna double check here to make sure I understand it right.
Okay.
So I send you an email and I tell you, hey, we didn't have school this week, and I don't turn in the assignment at all, and then wait until we go back to school, and then I get it done.
Yeah. And see, the way I set up the modules, Nina, okay, some teachers put open and closed dates on the assignments, where it's hard to submit something early, hard to submit something late. I don't do that. That's just a whole nother level of mechanics that make life more complicated. The older I get, the more streamlined I try to make my life. There were a couple of your classmates that, for one reason or another, and legitimate reasons, because we talked about it, were not able to upload their introduction video. I just said, let me know when you've uploaded, and I'll add the points in the grade book. Okay, so the big thing is just to be communicating. And yes, the snow day thing, you're not in control of that. And it may just be that the snow day falls on the day when you had geared yourself up to create the video, and maybe prompt your kids about it. Maybe you don't, and so you had all the mechanics in place. You could just turn on your laptop web camera and turn it on your desk and turn around facing the kids, if that's how you want to do it. It can be as simple as that. Or you can have a colleague capture it on a smartphone. That'd be fine too. All the time, stay within policies. Okay? Very consistently in these policies, and what I heard you mention in the introduction videos, it can't be on social media. Never Facebook, never Instagram. Well, I'll rephrase that. It has to be within your building policies. Okay? If your building policy is absolutely none of that, then you'll get fired. Okay? So And that's not a good thing. Nod your head, that's not a good thing. So, okay. Okay, any other questions? Okay. My intent is that this is straightforward, chronological, relevant, practical, useful. Okay, that's what I'm after. Okay, not much theory going on. It's where you and you have a lot of choice in. No, you got all kinds of choice in here. I'm not telling you what techniques to, well, within a framework of each chapter. So there's a theme, but pick the one that speaks to you and sounds like you put an interesting spin on it and use that. Okay. Any questions? That's called wait time, right? Okay, I'm gonna stop share. Okay. Okay. Dale, I'm glad you're there now. Okay. And really, I enjoy watching your intro videos. And it's only been the last couple of years I've learned to always, all my classes, even my face-to-face classes, I have people do this because it helps. Now you can go back in and say, now who is that so-and-so? And you can, it helps us learn each other a little bit better. Okay. And now also how I do this. As I start shutting things down, I will stop recording, but I'm always the last person to sign off. So if you have a more individual type question, you just outwait everybody until you're the last person there. Okay? Okay. All right. Thank you for being the guinea pigs and letting me do that. I'm going to stop recording now.